What would Elvis Presley be if he was a watch accessory? A gyroscopic watch winder, of course. Hey guys, this is Josh from Watch All About and thank you for joining us. Here's another review. It's not a watch this time, it's a watch winder. Now, watch winders seem to be quite a hotly debated topic in the watch community. On one end of the scale, people swear by them for keeping their automatic watches ready to grab and go. Others, however, are convinced that they put unnecessary strain on a movement and increase their likelihood to fail. Whether you like them or hate them, there's no denying that this one is striking. This is the Piguet & Son Astronomia X1. Now, I know what you're thinking looking at this. You know, there's a winder just like this for less than £100 on AliExpress. Maybe you weren't thinking that, maybe you're thinking of cheeseburgers, but now hopefully you are thinking of that. Well, before you head on over to our favourite supplier of all things cheap and cheerful, there are some things worth mentioning. Now, I spoke to Paul Piguet himself about his winder, and the supplier on AliExpress is supposedly illegally using this design. And Piguet & Son are actually in the process of suing them as we speak. Now, I've not handled one of those cheaper copies, but it's always good to think you get what you pay for. Is the construction going to be up to scratch? Unlikely. Will it last? Well, I don't know about you, but I've had my fair share of cheap and cheerful watch winders from Amazon and the like, and they just always pack up in a short amount of time. I think I had one for about a month before and it just stopped working. Now, I'm not going to lie, with an RRP of €799 or £685 thereabouts, but currently with an introductory half price offer of €399 or about £340, this is not cheap. It's definitely a luxury item. So let's check it out to see if it's worth it. So first of all, just briefly discussing the specs. Dimensions, it's 18 centimeters from the very bottom to the very top of the glass dome with a 12 centimeter radius. Obviously, if you look at it from the top, it's a circle, so radius 12 centimeters. Weight, 1,055 grams, so just over a kilogram. It is a weighty thing, it feels great in the hand. 1 year warranty. We've already mentioned the price as well. Now, no doubt about it, the gyroscopic movement of this winder is unique, and it's also tremendously well built with a steel base and a thick glass dome. It has that weightiness to it of just over 1 kilogram that provides a real perception of quality when you handle it. Just like the finest Swiss-made watch, this winder is handmade in that very country, Switzerland. The design is fairly minimalist, which I really like. It's not overcomplicated or overly extravagant. Instead, it's simple but done really well, such as something simple as the way the edge of the glass lines up perfectly with the outer edge of the base. And if you turn it around, the notch at the rear for the plug socket and the mode selector switch. This switch, if you use it, it provides a real hefty, chunky clunk when you're switching it, which feels really nice and sturdy. The inner gyroscopic element is available in gold or silver. This is obviously the silver version. And again, when you look at it, when you handle it, it's really sturdy, well machined, nicely polished metal as well. It doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't feel cheerful whatsoever. It's all powered by a motor hidden in the base, which is connected to the bottom of the innermost ring to set the motion in play. So if I just take this off, you'll notice there are 3 main elements to this gyroscopic winder. First, you have this outer skeleton, which is completely stationary. Then within that, there are 2 inner circles or inner discs, each connected to its parent via alternating axes. It's these inner 2 which are the gyrators, the 2 hips of Elvis Presley, if you will. Now, if I just turn it off so we can have a look at the actual holder of the watch, which clips into the inner disc. You just pull it out like so. Now, if your watch is on a strap, then you won't have any issues fitting your watch onto this holder. But if you have a gigantic wrist and your watch is on a bracelet, you might find it flops around a bit. Now the clip itself is pleasantly minimal in design, like the rest of the winder, and it feels like decent quality. It is plastic, but heavy duty plastic. Now the bracelets on all my watches are sized to my approximately 7-inch wrist, and it's a little bit tight, but the arms flex, as you can see, so it does fit just about. Now I'd say that you'd be safe in the range of 7.5 inches max to a smallest size of 6.5 inches wrist size. Interestingly, you do get 2 holders, and my initial thought was, oh, maybe they're 2 different sizes, but I was wrong. They're actually both the same size. So that doesn't really make much sense to me that you get 2 of the same size, but there you go. Now I'm pleased to report that, I don't know if you can hear it, hopefully you can't, but to me the winder isn't noisy and it can be placed in a bedroom without any problems. It also has some rubber feet right on the bottom so that it won't scratch any surfaces that you put it on. So there are 3 different modes to this winder. First of all, you have a clockwise rotation for 2 minutes, and then it stops for 8 minutes, and then it goes around again. Second option is counterclockwise rotation for 2 minutes, stop for 8 minutes, then it goes around again. And then your third mode is clockwise rotation for 1 minute, counterclockwise rotation for 1 minute, and then stop for 8 minutes. Now, it's good that it has these 3 modes, but I feel this is probably the only place that it could be improved. It would be good to have had more control over the revolutions as per, other winders that you do see in this price range. Also, it's such a joy to watch when it's running. To me, it's such a shame that it only goes for 2 minutes. Then you get nothing for quite a long amount of time, 8 minutes. So 2 minutes on, 8 minutes off seems a little bit imbalanced to me. Now, a big plus, but such a simple thing, is the fact that this is powered by a USB cable. I don't know about you, but I find so many winders are unnecessarily mains powered or have their own specific plug to power them. This obviously comes with a suitable USB transformer plug top for your country too. This is a UK plug, but it's good to know that it can be plugged into any phone charger or any multi-USB adapter and it'll work. It'll even run off a phone battery pack. Piguet also offer worldwide free tracked delivery with FedEx, so theoretically the shipping process should be pretty safe and fast, so that's good. So what are my final comments then on this winder? It really is a joy to watch. I mean, just look at it, and it's a joy to use as well. There are only 2 things to be aware of. Firstly, the level of controls may leave some wanting. I don't think it's a flaw, it's just something that I would have liked to have seen a little bit more control over that. But on the flip side, thinking about that as a positive, you can't deny that it's simple to operate. You plug it in and you flick that big switch on the back to whichever mode you want. Secondly, if you want it for a watch on a bracelet, just make sure it will fit. If your wrist is between 6.5 to 7.5 inches, you should be fine. Now, of course, if you plan on using this winder with a watch that has a leather strap, no issues at all, so don't worry about it. Apart from that, the Piguet & Cern Astronomia X1 Gyro watch winder, which is a bit of a mouthful, it is pretty special. I mean, I'm happy just watching it gyrate over and over, and it just feels so great in the hands as well. It's definitely got my vote at the introductory 50% off offer. Now, at full price, it's a little bit more of a struggle for me personally to justify the price, but if you want a luxury watch winder and don't mind splashing the cash, then it's still definitely worth it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment below as well what you think about this winder, what you think about the price and also the cheaper alternatives, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you, bye-bye.